today's Toy Spot, we're going to be having a look at Spider-Man Hasbro 2008 Juggernaut figure. Yes, I know it's not a spooky spot, but I figured I still will do the regular toy spots throughout the month of October. I still will do, I'll do like a combination of regular toy spots and then I'll do the spooky spots. Just in case you guys aren't enjoying the spooky spots, then you guys can get a little bit of both. But on today's toy spot, we're going to be looking at Juggernaut. Before we actually look at the figure itself, let's get a look at the packaging. This packaging's got a kind of a yellow colored cityscape in the background here with Spider-Man up at the top corner. And then down below we've got Juggernaut, super villain, ages 4 and up. Well, I think I'm in luck. On the back of the packaging we get a nice picture of Juggernaut with his mask and without his mask. And then it says for the description of Juggernaut, it says, powered by the magical energies of the Crimson Gem of Sidorak, no force on Earth can stop the Juggernaut once he starts moving. His strength is immeasurable and he is nearly invulnerable to any form of damage. In a straight fight, Spider-Man is no match for him. The wall crawler will have to use every trick he's learned from the years of fighting supervillains to stop the unstoppable Juggernaut. The unstoppable Juggernaut. His features of the figure include a removable helmet. So if the picture didn't give it away for you guys, they've also included that for you as well. And then down below, the other figures in the wave are Cyber Spider-Man. Why? I just don't know. Spider-Man. There's the Iron Spider-Man. Venom, or the Scorpion Stinger Venom. Tarantula. And then we've got Carnage. The only other figures I did pick up from this wave are the 3 villains here, and then the Spider-Man here. I didn't pick up this Spider-Man just because it seems to be just a direct repaint of the Spider-Man, what was it, the Spider-Man Origins Iron Spider? So being that it's the same figure, I really didn't have any interest in picking it up. Also says you can visit Spider-Man online at www.hasbro.com/Spiderman. So there you go. So there's packaging on Juggernaut. What I'm going to do is I'll get this package opened up and we will get a closer look at Juggernaut. So don't go anywhere, guys. Well, they say that nothing can stop Juggernaut. Well, I can think of one thing that can stop Juggernaut. It's these blasted things. I can't tell you how many. I think there was about 8 of these on this figure. And when I thought I had one limb untangled, I would pull out the rest of the figure and then I would get another one of these. So despite what you've heard, there is something that can stop the Juggernaut. It's clear elastic bands. The bane of my existence. Needless to say, now that we've got Juggernaut out of his packaging, we'll get a better look at the figure. And I would say it's not a bad figure. The only downside to the figure itself is if you own Marvel Legends Juggernaut, this probably will come as a disappointing figure to you. And one of the biggest reasons for it is just because of the size of the figure. The figure is quite small. It is granted larger than regular Spider-Man figures. However, for the grand scale of what Juggernaut should be size-wise, this figure kind of doesn't deliver. And as you can see, you can get a good look at his face. Unlike the other Juggernaut, the other Juggernaut just actually had his human face, whereas this particular Juggernaut has an additional mask underneath. And you can see he's got pretty good articulation in the head. You can swivel back and forth and you can rotate the head. However, probably anyone that owns a Juggernaut figure doesn't usually display him without the mask. So he does also come with his helmet. And I actually really like the helmet on this figure. It's unlike the other Juggernaut where it was just slots. This Juggernaut mask does seem to have like kind of added personality to it. I mean, as you can see, he's got the scowl, the brow there going on there, and he's got more of a rounded mouth. And what we can do is we'll just snap this into place. And And there you have Juggernaut. The only downside to the mask or the helmet is the fact it's a different color from the rest of the figure. I really don't know why. It would have made sense if it was just the same color as this. Because, I mean, you can look at the figure and know right off the bat that his helmet is removable just because it's a different color. I don't know why. Why, Hasbro? Why would you do that? Now, in the way of his other articulation, aside from his head, he has articulated shoulders, a ball-jointed shoulder. He also has a rotated forearm, although he doesn't have, you can't bend his arm. You can only just rotate it. You can also rotate his hand, but his hand is molded shut, so you can't actually open it. He also has an articulated mid-torso. You can rotate his waist. He has ball-jointed legs. At least from this point on, it's more articulated. He has rotation in his leg. He has 2 points in his knee, and you can also rotate his leg, rotate his ankle, and you can also bend his toe. Just a slight bit, though. I mean, it's not a lot. But there you go. The real disappointing aspect, aside from the coloring of the helmet, is the fact that his arms are already posed, and aside from just being able to rotate them slightly, that's all you're going to get. Now, I know at some point somebody will ask. It's guaranteed. Somebody will ask, well, can you do a comparison of this Juggernaut versus the Marvel Legends Juggernaut? So I'll move this guy aside. And I think you'll know right off the bat when I bring in the other Juggernaut the size difference between the two. There you have Marvel Legends Juggernaut. And I mean, this Juggernaut is just an absolute behemoth versus the much more slimmed down Juggernaut. Also give you guys a comparison on the helmets. As you can see, this is more like a iron helmet kind of Juggernaut mask, whereas this one is much more open. And would you believe that I actually like this helmet better? Now, if the eye and the mouth area with all the rivets was wider and was on this Juggernaut, I think it would be a great Juggernaut. I like the head on this Juggernaut, or the opening. But I think I like the openings and the detail more on this particular helmet. Again, if it was wider, that you could put it on this figure, I think that would be perfect. But as you can see, I mean, a real stark difference between the two. I mean, his arms, Juggernaut's arms are almost the size of the length of this Juggernaut figure. So I would say your money is with this particular Juggernaut. The good thing about this guy, though, and I'll move this Juggernaut out of the way, is the fact that this is a much cheaper method to go. So I mean, if you can't get the other Juggernaut, I think this guy is still available in some stores. You might probably be able to pick him up for about $10. Obviously, for anyone that follows Marvel Legends, to get I'll bring him back in. To get this guy, you're looking at about, what, $60 to $80 on eBay, because you can't find this guy anymore in stores. So I would say that's one reason why you'd want to pick up this figure. But I'll just take off the helmet again, so you guys can get a comparison of the two. As you can see, a lot more detailing in the skin coloring and the face on the Marvel Legends Juggernaut. But it's kind of a nice comparison to have both. And again, if I get this guy to stand right, just to kind of give you guys an idea again, I like this helmet. I really like this helmet with the eyes and everything. It's just a shame that it's not wider, or it's a shame that you couldn't have gotten this detailing on this mask. But that aside, there you have the Juggernauts there. I'll take this guy back out. Second time I've done this. In closing thoughts, I think I like this Juggernaut figure. It's just a shame that the coloring on the helmet is off versus the body. I don't like the fact that they've removed articulation points in the arm, and of course just the size. The size is a bit disappointing, but as a poor man's Juggernaut, I would say this guy is the way to go. definitely a cheaper way. What I'm going to start trying to do is I want to start giving ratings now on these toys, because a couple of people have asked when I can start doing ratings. Now I've shot a bunch of videos before this guy, so even though some of the later videos I upload won't have this rating system, I want to try to start doing it with these figures. So what I would give this figure out of 10, I'd probably give it about a 6, maybe a 7. And the only points I would take away is for the helmet and the arms. But there you go, there's a toy spot on the Hasbro 2008 Juggernaut. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Just a quick update on this video before I actually upload it. It does turn out that, as you can see here, he does have articulated elbows, which I originally said was the one problem I had with the figure, was that he didn't have articulated elbows. It does in fact look as if he does. The only downside is the way his bicep is sculpted. You can't get his arm any more than that. So, you know, I originally did say that you can't bend at the elbows. It turns out you can. They were just a little stiff. They were just a little stiff. Would that improve my rating of the figure? I'd probably still give him about a 6, about a 7. Just because of the size of the figure and the fact that his helmet is that different color. Also, you can see his helmet doesn't really stay in place, so you know, the moment you move the figure in a certain way, the helmet's going to come right off. But just to give you guys an update, because I'm sure somebody would say, hey man, that arm does bend. It does in fact bend. So just to give you guys an update. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.